then, one of the best sources for information was to catch a mailman. He knew who was going to have a baby, he knew who was going to go here, do that, what's happening here. He had all the information. We didn't have paper. They had one of those little ring down telephones where you could hear the ring then and really listen to it and listen to everybody on the line. Tell whatever it was they wanted to tell. Some of it was worth and some of it wasn't worth anything. But that was a long time ago before we ever got to private lines. When we lived in a little town up in southern Iowa named Camry, my mother was a telephone operator. Well, what it was one of those where you plug it in, you call in and say, I want 812 green, you'll catch that in a little bit. And she would take the plug and plug it in to 812 green and you had your conversation. Quite a deal. What about it today? Oh, you pick up the phone and punch in a few numbers. And we get the party on the things are out. So things have grown up a whole lot from what I can remember as a youngster. And the cats. I was never happy with the cats outside of the horse tank. So I kept them in the horse tank as much as I possibly could, which was really brutal as far as that part was concerned, but it was still fun to throw the cats in the horse tank. Dad had put a big log in there for them to get up and get out. So things like that I can remember as a boy. In those days, we wore the big overalls, which most of you probably don't know what a big overall is today. But remember the big overalls? If you didn't have a pair of big overalls, you wouldn't look it. Now, if you had a pair of the striped ones, man, you was it. You was it. But not too many of us had them because they were more expensive. But anyway, some of those things that have come and gone in my memory. The first car that I seen of the old style was an old Buick, which was made out of a buggy. It had the great big steering wheel out here in front. It had a little old motorcycle that kept it going. Well, in the little town of Ryanville, where I grew up a lot, every time everybody come to town at night, on Saturday night, the horse and wagon or horse and buggy. So consequently, instead of parking places around the square out there was hitching posts. They brought it in, they tied people up to hitching posts, they went and done whatever they wanted. Well, somehow or other, this guy got this thing started and started down Main Street in the Lineville area. Did a popping and going on like that, screwed every horse and buggy. There wasn't a set of horses there that was fit to take anything home before they got him stopped, just because that thing going down the street popping behind him. But anyway, some of the things I can remember, probably more than I can forget, but probably better than I do. But I also remember the first airplane I ever seen. And I tell the story a lot of times of the girl that was involved in one of the places over Sue's place, where they asked somebody older than you are some questions. Well, it was a sure thing that probably the teacher put it up to her, first of all. But the first question that little girl asked me when I told Sue, sure, I'll talk to her. What did I watch on television?
What is
I said, Mom, we didn't have a radio that worked unless the wind was in the right direction. So the conversation went on until I happened to mention, I said, your first McDonald's. The question to me was, well, where did you hang out? When I said, let's remember, I said I was from the farm. We didn't have time to hang out. We didn't go any place to hang out. So we didn't eat, but I can remember the first McDonald's I ever seen. And some more things like that come and gone. I was probably brought to the Lord at the age of about 7 or 8 with parents who were involved in the Assemblies of God at that particular time. But the interesting side of that part of it was that grandfather on Dad's side of the house was Assembly of God. But on my mother's side of the house was Jesus only. Now, how far back does that take you? But that was one mixture that needed to be brought up in. And praise God, I've come a long way since then. tell you all that. But the biggest thrill in my life today is you people. And every one of you is a blessing to me. Your life, the words that you have expressed, the encouragement that you have given, even to my softball coach. But you have been my blessing in this life. I appreciate every one of you coming. Don't stop eating. We do have a cake over there that must be $1. So I'm going to shut up. And if any of you have anything you want to say.
Yeah, I do.
David's going to tell the truth now.
That's right.
Well, I can tell you the hardest part of this is I can look out here and see some faces that knew me when. You guys do whatever you want. I got some things I want to say to my dad. So thank you for you being in my life. I was not a good kid. I didn't treat you with the respect you deserved from the time I can, as far back as I can remember. I spent most of my life trying to leave home, and I promise I'm going to keep this short. Finally got it done when I was 16 and was able to leave home. Thought I was going to join the military. That didn't work out. But through all these times, Dad, you were always the same. I came home, every time I'd come home from one of my idiot pranks, you were always the same. Wise, truth as you knew it, and above all, Jesus Christ. I got older when I was just considered myself young and stupid. And still, you were the same. You never changed. I got a little older and then I was just stupid. But you were still the same. You never changed. You were always the same. All you ever did, they had me fill out some, one time I was filling out some things about my heroes. I started going, John Wayne, and said, I stopped. And I said, no, my dad is my hero. For the first time in my life, I realized it. All you ever did was work hard to take care of me and Lori and provide for Mother. I was sick most of the time. But you still found time to coach my football team. And I'm sure that didn't go because instead of throwing overhand, I had to throw underhand and sidearm. And you had to teach me through that. You still stayed the same. I'll move right on. And as I got older, I didn't get a whole lot wiser, but you were still the same. So you would think, I would be thinking, boy, God really blessed him. Or any of 100 different things I could think. Well, what did I think? How does he do that? Well, in 10 years from now, we're going to have to do this again. And then you'll be 100 years old, and it'll give me another opportunity to say, how does he do that? Well, I know now how he does it. I get it. I get it now. You're faith in God, and you're faithing on Jesus Christ.